All right, welcome to lesson 31, functions introduction. So the word function in the English dictionary, if something functions, that means that it works or operates in a proper or particular way. Okay, you guys have heard the word function before. In math, functions are like computers, okay, that they work in a certain way based on a certain rule. Okay, so I have a diagram here. And what this diagram means is you input a command. So this word right here in this text box should be input. Okay, this is a math term that's going to be very useful for us, something to understand. Input. So you take an input, okay, it's a certain value. It could be a number, could be a word, could be a variable, could be just anything, right? So we take this input. It's something that we are putting inside the function. Okay, so you take an input, and the function, I put a little picture of a computer here because I think it's useful to look at functions as a computer. Computers do things for you, right? You input, you type in something, and then it outputs something. Maybe it prints out something, right? That's kind of how functions work in math. So you take an input, you put it into the function, into the computer. The computer runs some sort of rule, okay? It runs a rule, and then when it runs this rule, okay, it prints out an output. So the thing that comes out of the function is the output. So we take an input, we put it into the function, and it becomes an output, okay? What are functions useful for? Well, functions are used in many real-world applications, including cybersecurity. You've probably heard of this before, right? Cybersecurity is securing against hackers. The government and private businesses all hire cybersecurity experts. They do encryption, which is taking data and basically making it so that it can't be hacked. Decryption is taking something that is encrypted and undecoding it, right? So you can get at what's inside of it. Cryptography is just the general cybersecurity network. And ciphers are something a little bit cool we're going to talk later in the unit. Computer programming, okay? Functions are the basis for all programming language, okay? They help you create programs, it's software, so if you're into computer programming, functions are a huge thing. Sports analytics, so if you're a big sports person, sports analysts, they input player data, so they take all these numbers, right? How much they shoot, how many times they shoot, how many blocks they had, how many steals they had, all this stuff. They input them into certain functions that they use, and these functions help them, they get these outputs, and that those outputs help them make decisions about teams and players and all sorts of cool things in sports. Okay, so functions are huge in business. So if you ever feel like you want to go into business someday, all right, maybe you want to be a TikTok influencer, right? That's a business. Businesses use functions all the time. They use functions, for example, an efficiency function. All right, they take data that they get and they use a function to see how efficient is the product that they're making. Can they make it more efficiently? Certain things like that. So efficiency is huge. How are you going to make more money, right? In businesses, they use functions to determine things like that. Teachers even use functions, okay? Not even just math teachers. Obviously, math teachers use it, but even English teachers or science teachers, social studies teachers, when they're computing their grades, and a lot of times this happens on computer software, so they don't actually physically do it, but when they are computing their grades, or also if you've ever had a teacher do a check for understanding or an exit ticket, sometimes they take that data, those grades, and they use functions to determine, okay, do the students get this, or should I do another lesson on it next time? Do I need to do a mini lesson? Do I need to do groups to explain it more? Who's understanding it, who's not? I need all this function, or I need a function to tell me all these numbers. What does it mean? Okay, so functions are really great to take real world data and give you real world ideas of what are all these numbers mean for me? What can I do with these numbers to make decisions? Okay, so functions are used big time in the real world, and we're going to get more into depth of what functions mean for us in 8th grade math. So I'll see you in the next video.